Harlem Talk Radio brings you news and information and stimulating talk radio on the Harlem community. We cover business, education, entertainment, health, politics, technology, finance, and lots more.
Good evening, family, and welcome to Harlem Roots and Beyond on HarlemTalkRadio.com. My name is Lydgia, and I'm here with my right hand, KamiKaze, and we are going to be getting it in around so much tonight for our weekend review. I'm going to let Kami say hello to you, and then we're going to go to a quick commercial break.
Hello, Harlem and the world. Are we off to commercial already?
All right, so thank you so much. This evening, again, this is going to be our weekend review. We're going to be looking at news items for the past week or so. We lost Chris Lighty, one of the hip-hop impresarios. We lost Reverend Sun Myung Moon. We do know that the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention is underway. We're going to be talking about where Occupy Wall Street is 2 years later, and so much more. So stay connected with us, and we'll be right back in a few. Hold tight.
Hi, this is three-time Tony Award winner Hinton Battle from your favorite Broadway shows like Dreamgirls, Sophisticated Ladies, Miss Saigon. But what I'm excited to talk to you about today is a wonderful new musical that I'm producing called Sisters. I absolutely love this show, and you will too. Based on stories from black women, Sisters is an uplifting musical journey that explores a woman's experience with humor, humility, and sass. Songs by artists like Billie Holiday, Lena Horne, Aretha Franklin, and Beyonce. Sisters will rock you to your core. The music, the moment, the message will be etched in your memory forever. So start texting, tell your friends, get on the phone and order your tickets now to see Sisters at the St. Luke's Theater. For tickets, visit telecharge.com or call 212-239-6200. Sisters.
Welcome back, family, to Harlem Roots and Beyond for Thursday, September 6th, 2012. Before we get our meat and potatoes on the plate, we're going to have our producer, Nizer, come on and share something with us tonight. Something.
You know, what I really wanted to share was that we're now coming into the end of summer and the beginning of fall. The leaves are falling, the kids are going back to school. And I just want to address something, because sometimes when we go through a new transition in terms of the season, there either could be happiness or sadness. And most of the time, because we live in such a turbulent time, we find a lot of despair and sadness. And I just want to let people know that, remember, we're still in the greatest country in the world. We have fresh air, as of today at least. Take a walk, take a long walk. If you don't like to walk around blocks, find a park. Find a destination. Just take a long walk, take a friend, but more importantly, do it by yourself, because it's a way for you to clear your mind, clear your thoughts, and almost solve the problems of the universe. Take a child with you. Hug your child. Call your aunt, call your pops, your sister, your brother-in-law that you haven't spoken to maybe in weeks, months, throughout the summer or years. Embrace people, because at the end of the day, I realize that as we get older, and I'm learning from people who are way older than me, that a lot of the things that we go through is really nonsense. So in order for us to de-stress ourselves, we need to live. In order to live, you gotta step out of your comfort zone. It's all right to be a little afraid, because in that we grow stronger and we learn new things and we meet new people. So the end of summer, reach out, make things happen, fine-tune yourself, get in touch with yourself so that you can better demonstrate brotherly and sister love to your neighbor, your friends, and loved ones. And that's it.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. And, I'm going to bring Kami in on this. Kami, thoughts about just what the brother was talking about. I mean, the importance of dealing with yourself. Love, yeah, come on. Talk about it.
Point blank, period, huh? There's nothing greater than us loving each other. That will be our elevation in every level, in every aspect, if we just learn how to love each other. Bottom line.
Okay. All right. So, family, again, welcome to Harlem Roots and Beyond. This is KamiKaze and Lydgia's week or so in review. A lot has happened in the past week or so. Yeah. I want to actually say that last week's show, we had 2 public school teachers on, and we got such a lot of great feedback about that show. They were able to speak candidly about their professions and being in the classroom and how administration, sort of, puts the wet blanket on them and how our kids are struggling. And so I just want to, give thanks because today was the first day of school for our kids going back.
York, yeah.
And so
first and only day this week.
Right. So our kids are going back to school, so thank goodness, get in there, little ones, and do your thing, get good grades, make mom and dad proud.
Yeah.
And
actually, speaking of school,
yeah.
Like recently, my children moved back south. My 2 youngest, they moved back south. Now, they started school last week. Now, my 15-year-old daughter, who's supposed to be going to the 10th grade, they're opting to put her in the 11th grade. And my 16-year-old daughter, who's supposed to be going to the 11th grade, they want to make her a senior because they said they have enough credits and so forth, and they're ahead of the program down there. Now, I always thought it was reversed. I always thought the South had the better schools and things of such of that magnitude, but this is factual and actual. They want to put my kids ahead because they're ahead of all of the students down there. This is Plymouth, North Carolina.
Beautiful.
I just wanted to throw that out there, speaking of, schooling and education.
Oh, absolutely. It's a beautiful thing. Your kids are doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I always said, you and I were both raised in New York City public schools, and it's all in your application. Now, we know it's bad schools. Yeah. But what are you doing when you in your bad school? Are you going to class? Are you
being part of the bad? It's simple. It's a simple task. It's no blame on nobody but yourself for however you got through it. You know what I'm saying? Not to say whether it's good or bad, but however you got through it, you did it. It's high school, the real tricky part about high school that a lot of people tend to think of as obsolete or they don't really even mention it, is the freedom. All the freedom to move as you please gives you the opportunity to duck out on your responsibilities because you're still a child at heart. You understand? I know you're supposed to, you're 14, 15, you're supposed to be responsible, but you're still a child. So if you can get away with it, some of us will try.
Oh, yeah, I know I tried.
Even though in the end,
I know I tried.
It's yourself that you hurt, but you live and you learn, and that's just what life is. Trial and error, and that's true.
And then some of us don't rebound. You're having so much fun, you get into your truancy.
Down, yeah.
Because some of us didn't make it. Yeah, and I don't mean out of high school. I mean they didn't make it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. So, welcome, family. We're going to move it in a little bit. I have a couple of announcements I'd like to make, community announcements, and we're going to move into our conversation. If you are a Harlem senior, they have what's called Senior Leadership Training. The orientation is going to be held Tuesday, September 18th. At 10 a.m. at Abyssinian Towers in their community room, which is located at 50 West 131st between Lenox and 5th. They're asking, are you interested in making Harlem a more age-friendly community? Are you eager to learn strategies for advocacy? And are you interested in learning techniques for social action? So this is great. This is for older people who want to get more civically engaged in Harlem. Space is limited, so if you're interested, please contact Kim Smith at 646-645-5771. Again, if you're a Harlem senior and you're interested in learning, gaining some leadership development training, it's free. 646-645-5771. Ask for Kim Smith. Now, Kamai, last night I went to Community Board 10's general meeting, and I got this information, and I want to share it. Total Equity Now is an organization here in Harlem that is looking to make public schools more equitable, along with charters and private, trying to make public schools better for our kids. And back in August, they had something that they hosted called Literacy Across Harlem. It was a book donation and community celebration. Now, Total Equity Now, 10 is their acronym, declares September 1st as Literacy Across Harlem Day. Dig this.
Okay.
Harlemites what they would like Harlemites to do is walk around physically with books, magazines,
We're past
newspapers.
that date already.
Right, but
I didn't see that going on.
yeah, well, people don't, right? People don't do what they should do, right? But it's saying that September 1st was the launch, but then the first of every month thereafter, so every first of the month, they want you to walk around with books, to physically carry books around, to promote literacy. And I thought that was pretty cool, because you don't see people doing that much. You see certain people walking around with their newspapers or their books. So Joe Rogers Jr. is actually part of Total Equity now. And you can contact him for more information if you are interested in Literacy Across Harlem Day. I think it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, of course.
646-543-5695. Again, Joe Rogers, Harlem's Literacy Across Harlem. 646-543-5695. So,
all right, before you escape from that, being that you're talking community board and books and education, I didn't know that Truce closed down.
Truce moved, actually. They got a new space.
All right. I see the signs on the gate saying we're closed, They gave away, they sat out there for the public a bunch of books and furniture, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute, I sit next to someone who's board friendly. I didn't know this stuff.
No, they got a new space.
Okay, that's a beautiful thing.
So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Another announcement. Come on, then we're going to get it going. For dance fans, folks who are interested in dance, New York City Center will have all seats for $15. Sale starts September 9th at 11 a.m. for it's called Fall for Dance Festival. It's going to be 12 performances, 20 dance companies under one stage, beginning September 27th and running through October 13th. Again, all seats are $15 at City Center. Let me give some information so folks can, Lord have mercy. City Tix, 212-581-1212, or you can go to the box office at 131 West 55th Street, right? All the dance fans, you get to see some great dance companies for $15. So,
$15 a seat.
Not bad.
Not bad.
So come on, Chris Lighty,
Yeah, rest in peace, Lighty. Yeah, responsible for a lot of careers, did a lot of big things in the game. Too numerous to run through them. Worked with all personalities of the game, top personalities, as is shown with the arrivals at his funeral. Russell Simmons, Puffy, of course, Buster. Buster was a true violator. I'll say he was a member, Everybody, but I think I believe the family's having some disbelief about it being a suicide, and they want a new autopsy and they want to investigate it, and they're hiring legal. I don't know. It gets tricky, but rest in peace, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know how it could not be a suicide if
I can't.
He was the only one there with the gun, and
I can't call it.
We weren't there.
Yeah, that's why I say I can't call it, but it's a tragedy nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Either way, it might have went down.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
The police, they're calling it a suicide. They deal with forensic evidence and things of that nature, supposedly. But you understand what I'm saying? Like you said, if we're not in the room, we don't know.
But we, black people, when I say black people, we have some issues around suicide, and I think that's probably where all this is coming from.
Accept it.
We can't
that
accept.
One of our
we
people
can't.
Took in.
There's so many things that we have some problems with. Mental illness we have problems with, and we can't believe that someone that's so powerful in the music industry, he had money, he had power.
Yeah, well, that's
but that could create
that could create enough problems to make you do such things, and many people with money and power have done it. He's not the first.
Well, it won't be the last. I'm sure.
I'm sure of that too.
But rest in peace,
Chris
Lighty, founder of Violator
Records and management and production, and he was just all around the board with it. He did his thing. He made his mark.
Self-made man. That's the beautiful thing about that, right?
He made his mark.
Yeah, beautiful thing. So, family, if you're just logging on, this is Harlem Roots and Beyond for Thursday, September 6th. And Kama and I are doing our week or so in review. And if you are of a certain age, you would know who Reverend Sun Myung Moon.
Hey, the funny thing is, when I heard the other day that he had passed away, it was such a funny thing because all I could remember was I believe it was late 70s. I don't think it was early.
82.
Oh yeah,
I
early
got the year,
80s.
82.
Okay. When he came here.
Yes.
Oh man, they raised so much ruckus, and it was. But rest in peace, Sun Mun Moon.
Ain't that
Reverend
something?
Sun Mun Moon.
Yeah.
He died at 92 years old.
92.
Lived a long life, and I have to say prosperous because his name rang across the world.
Man, listen, he was very, very wealthy, and from some backstory, family. If you don't know who Reverend Sun Young Moon was,
give him some bio.
Korean gentleman who he was a self-proclaimed messiah. He was known for hosting mass weddings. The idea being that that's what Kamikaze was talking about. He had he filled Madison Square Garden with, it was amazing, with couples who got married. The largest probably mass wedding in New York City in 1982. And the mass weddings he called blessings, and so he would bless couples. And in the blessing, there's always, the tray passed around.
But wasn't there some type of fraud that he had got caught up into some things too? I mean, let's talk about it all.
Whenever someone proclaims themselves as a messiah, I have questions about it. That's just my personal thing. Remember, family, views of Lydgia and KamiKaze may not be the views of HarlemTalkRadio.com, but I will say this: when I hear people saying that they're a messiah and they call themselves Jah, or they'll call themselves whatever,
Hova,
it just brings about thoughts for me. Particularly if you're using religion, right, to bring people to your side of thinking. It is cultish. To me, it is cultish. We had Jim Jones, who had people drinking Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That was a cult, and he was a self-proclaimed messiah. So anyway, family, you don't want to go off the deep end on that. But Sun Young Moon, he died this past week at 92, and his followers were called moonies. I always remember that too. When we were little, moonies. And so rest in peace. We definitely have to get into some serious stuff around the Republican National Convention, which was held last week, and the ongoing Democratic National Convention. Our president will be accepting the party's nomination this evening at 10 o'clock. So for those of you who will be at home and who are interested, President Barack Obama will be accepting the nomination. Now, last night, President Bill Clinton made his speech, and it blew everyone away. I'll be the first one to say I don't watch conventions. They're not interesting to me.
And I'll be the second one to say I don't.
And why don't you? Let's talk about why we don't do it.
Basically, it's going to be everything that you expect. Everybody's going to basically say what you expect. Everybody's going to hoorah for their side, and it's just something I don't get involved in. I wait for the end result. Just like I'm not gonna go to the fight. I'll wait till it's over and the results come up, and I'll hear. Basically.
Observations about the demographic of the RNC and the DNC, because even though we're not really into it that in depth, we saw photos or we saw footage.
Well, yeah.
What did the audiences look like?
Well, all right.
And what would you say that meant?
All right. I'm gonna put this flat and I'm gonna make it simple. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like to complicate things. First, let me say this. My grandmother told me, I know she never expected that I would never vote, but she told me when I get the right to vote, never vote Republican, vote Democrat. And she told me why. And it wasn't a whole bunch of political jargon. It was simply, in the Democratic crowd, you see all people. You see black, you see white, you see Asian, you see everybody. In the Republican status, you see white bread and mayonnaise, as my good friend Fran, rest in peace, used to say.
Now
that's as simple as I can make it.
Now dig this. We're gonna kind of go in on this a little bit because race. There are black Republicans,
of course
they
there
are.
Of course,
I mean,
are.
and there's
allegedly they're screaming Nicki's a Republican, Nicki Minaj is a Republican.
We
You know,
definitely got to go
allegedly.
into that. We definitely got to go into that. But you know, when you look at the crowd, you know, Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, as you know, have accepted their nomination, their party's nomination. And you know, from what we did see, 99% of the audience was Caucasian. Now, sprinkled around, you know, you did have
A spot or two here.
right? And then what we have to remember is a lot of Latinos are Republican now, and they look sometimes
Like those people.
European.
Let me stop acting up.
Right, acting up. This is serious now.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
so if we think we're looking for dark skin that they're not really a party affiliate, but they are.
Okay.
And I often wonder, you know, when I'm thinking about it, the people of color who are Republican, they must be of a certain economic strata because clearly it's about money. It's
All the
not
time.
about social
Yeah.
uplift.
It's very rare that you find the average black American yelling, "I'm a Republican." You know, the everyday going to work hard Joe, not the I got my business and I'm rolling. Those are the ones that you usually find being Republicans.
Right.
And that's the truth.
Right. I left the Democratic Party, let me see, maybe about 10 years ago. And I left the party because I found that the parties were pretty much the same. And when I made the decision to do it, I thought it through. You know, talked to my mother about it. And, Mom, this is what I'm going to do. And she was like, do what you need to do for yourself because your vote is not my vote.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, my mother was great with that. But thinking about it, brother, you know, when it comes all down to it, that's why I don't watch the Republican National Convention or the Democratic National Convention, because of what you said. There's a lot of rhetoric and soundbite, but at the end of it, how a policy is going to affect the average person like you and me.
Average Joe like you and myself and you.
Can I get another perspective in there?
Come on.
Can.
So here's a third perspective. The DNC is another way for those who are undecided and also those who are not independent. But what's the other category when you actually are not independent, you really don't care, but you wait till the last day to see what's on the table,
Right.
and then you decide.
Well, undecided.
Undecided. So that's for the undecided as well, because the undecided doesn't have any time. They really don't care about, you know, following the elections year long. They only care about that day. What information can they get that day? And so what they do is they size up pretty much who delivers the best speech, their posture, their attitude. I wouldn't really say so much about the facts, because how much time do you have to check facts, right? If you're looking at it, you know, the day of,
Right.
or the week of,
Right.
you know. So it is about likability. It's almost like going to high school and you're voting for the class president. Who votes for the class president because he or she's the smartest? It's for he or she who
Popularity.
has popularity, likable,
Right.
likability,
Right.
And so that's what. So
Right.
it reaches different people for different reasons. Me myself, I sort of watch it because I just want to see, you know, what some people are saying, as opposed to what they've been doing all year long, and how they're just going to pump it up and try to galvanize the crowd so that they can sway the vote that way. And I sort of like analytically look at it from that perspective.
No, I'm glad, and please come in on this. Thank you so much, Niza, for your perspective. With respect to, you know, popularity, likability, who speaks well, we know that President Obama far outshines Mitt Romney in terms of presentation and speaking. We know this, right? He speaks, he has so many cadences and nuances. He can sound like Martin Luther King. He can sound presidential. He can sound like someone... Black. He can sound like someone from the hood, not speaking in slang, but someone that's
Understands.
relatable.
Yes.
So if we go by that alone, we know it's a landslide on Obama. However, first of all, I'm an Obama-phile, so Obama's going to get my vote. That's clear. But I don't, you know, speechwriters make a lot of money writing these speeches, and at the end of the day, who puts together the best presentation?
It's a show.
It's
and that's why.
Come on, man. I don't have time for that.
I understand it's a show.
Now,
but they have to put that show on.
Now, the money.
$multi-million show.
Bring the money. You always say the money.
$multi-million shows.
Bring the money.
All the time, every time.
So the whole city.
Right. When they would at the end of these conventions, isn't a fact always stated of how much money was divvied up?
Absolutely.
After so the bottom line is, this is what it's all about. We come together to gather this paper so we could go forth for war.
Now dig it. So if the whole city is, you're hosting the convention. We're talking about hotels. We're talking about restaurants, all kind of eateries. We're talking about strip clubs. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, they do it. They do it.
You know they do it.
Yeah.
all of that money. So to me, it's a way to get messaging out, but it's also a way to make and create money. So
yeah, of course.
Right.
Like you said, like I say, the bottom line is always the money. That's always the bottom line factor around whatever's going down. It comes down to the money, right?
Now, let's definitely talk about Michelle Obama's speech.
Her speech.
She has been talked about for days. I mean, I think she spoke. Yeah, she spoke on Tuesday, I believe. Clinton spoke last night.
So I guess, Mitt Romney's wife did a little speech on the man he is. I guess Michelle said, "Listen, man. Let me tell you what a real man is." A real man who had the car where we were driving down the street and I could see the street through the bottom of the floor.
Ain't that something, right? We had a Flintstone mobile. We were running, right? We didn't have tires, right?
He's the same man this day that had that car.
No, that's a beautiful thing.
And I guess that's all about humility, morale, things of that nature, and character.
And you know something? Now, if we're looking at the first lady and the aspiring first lady, right? First lady wannabe. We know Michelle Obama, her speaking style, her down to earth style. She's an attorney. And she killed it.
Yeah.
She killed it.
And then she always reminds everybody that she's officially 100% black.
She can't be anything else. She can't be anything else.
She doesn't let it escape. She doesn't let that fact escape, even just in the way she carries herself as she speak. Love my black women, man. That's why I don't deal with them other folks.
Listen, that's all right. Yeah. I love you. I love you for loving us. But Michelle Obama, Chicago, born, raised, and then she has her background. Very smart sister, and after her speech. Now they're saying she should run. And I just think it's funny. But again, it's how well she presented herself.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton spoke last night. Now
they did. Now they putting fire on him. They calling him the fire-breathing dragon too. They said he set it on fire too.
Sure did. See, I didn't
catch none of this, but talking with some friends of mine yesterday or earlier today. And that's where I got my information on what went down, because like we both said, we didn't sit down to watch it.
Yeah, Bill Clinton has always been a firebrand. Oh yeah,
he's a good speaker too. Now,
one of the best.
You can't skip that. Bill's a good speaker too.
One of the best.
That's how he swayed the black vote. Then he jumped on Arsenio and played the saxophone and admitted to smoking a little bit of that tree thing.
Which always... And I'm so glad you brought that up, because if that makes someone black...
Listen.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah, I understand. But, they was yelling it. Oh, he's the first black president, Bill Clinton.
He was not.
And clearly he wasn't. The first black president is in place now.
All right, family. So, come on now. We're going to just weight us down a little bit and get our energies ready for segment 2.
Okay.
Please hang in there with us. A lot more to talk about in our weekend review.
Yes.
Hold tight.
Harlem Talk Radio brings you news and information at stimulating talk radio on the Harlem community. We cover business, education,